welcome to the RamCast, the only place where grass is actually greener.
If you don't know already, we're from a school called AP Mays in South Miami, home to many different arts such as chorus, dance, orchestra, visual arts, and more. My name is Joey Saza, and I'm joined with.
Xavier Gutierrez, and today we're joined with Saul Pico, who has a vast portfolio in film.
Hi.
So, jumping right into it, how many projects have you worked on?
All right, so I've worked on a lot of projects, but like good ones, I'd probably say around five.
What are the names of those?
Most recently, I've worked on a film called Space Oddity. Before that, well, not even before that, it's just a little after Waffles. Before I had another film called Breathe, and then just minor projects here and there with my friends. I think it was like 2 years ago. I worked on the Virtuoso video. There was an action sequence, and I was like cameraman.
Talking about Space Oddity, didn't you win 2 awards for that?
I think more, but I don't keep too much track about that. So I was the producer and co-writer of that film. Paulo, our director, he's more into the that award stuff. But from what I know, we've won like at least probably just two.
Where do you see yourself moving past high school? Because you're a senior now.
Oh yeah, I am a senior, but basically, I don't know where I'd see myself after high school. It's really weird because right now I sort of see myself in film, but I don't know where life will take me. So right now I've been interested in audio engineering, stuff like that, and screenwriting, but I don't know.
Are there any colleges you're planning to go to for film?
Of course. Well, NYU has been the big dream since I got here. Even before then, I would like visual arts. I really wanted to go to NYU. Cal Arts is one that I would really want to go to. Pratt, SVA, basically nothing here in Miami.
Yeah, there's a lot of good colleges. Well, for filming, there are good filming colleges here in Florida, but the main ones are probably in areas like Atlanta and all those other sections. But continuing from that, out of all the projects you've worked on,
hmm
which one would you say is the one you're most proudest of?
Definitely Space Oddity. Something about the simple storyline between it. It's just 1 minute long, but it was very deep and personal. Me and Paolo were just brainstorming, and we got the title from a David Bowie song, and the David Bowie song is essentially just about just a man. Well, using like metaphors, he's like a man who's like at his prime, and then he's just alone. So I kind of took that with Paolo, and we rewrote it to something about like growing up.
So you would say that that song actually really inspired you making that film?
Of course, like making films, usually for me it's weird because most people will get inspired by things that happen to them and stuff like that. But I carry on an iPod Shuffle with me. I mean, I have it on me right now. But basically, like what I do usually when I want to write something is I'll put it on shuffle and I'll challenge myself for like the first couple songs, see if I can connect it to something.
Okay, so you said that those directors really inspire you to become a filmmaker. What are some movies that really impact your life that really make you want to go forward in this field?
Well, generally, I aspire to be a director and stuff like that. Uh, Three main inspirations will have to be Quentin Tarantino, Edgar Wright, and Wes Anderson. Those are like the three directors I look up to. Quentin Tarantino the most. His style, like his nonlinear storytelling, and just generally like he doesn't hide his personality in his films. You can see that he's a very ambitious person, and I look up to that a lot. And just the way they incorporate music into a film. And I'd say the last one is a film I watched very recently called Peanut Butter Falcon. It stars Shia LaBeouf, and well, it's it's a very personal film. I can tell, and you can sort of like tell by the writing style. It's a very I don't know how to explain it properly, but it's basically like a very personal film, and I just have to say, like, if you don't understand what I'm saying, you have to watch it.
So, how long have you been working in the broadcasting department or just in films in general?
So far, it's been like 5 years.
You started when you were in seventh grade, am I correct?
Yeah, mistaken schedules.
You're in your 12th year now? That's kind of interesting to think. You're so close to moving on. you said that you don't really have plans or just not clear plans, but it's just an interesting experience to move forward from here with the concept that you already have so much information in filming
Hmm.
and you can grow from that and go into a department in a college or university and they'll just show you either more or the exact same thing you already know and you'll gain connections and just grow as a person. It's really interesting to think like that. Do you have any connections in the film industry right now? Do you know anyone or just have plans in general?
Well, in knowing anyone, I guess Dr. Marsh, he has connected me through people who've been to Cal Arts that are in New York, and they're currently he's trying to help me get into NYU. But as far as plans go, you know, I'm more of a go with the flow type of person, not because I don't want to think about it, but mainly because it gives me anxiety to think about stuff like that. Because if I look too far deep into it, I just start over analyzing every little aspect of it.
It always gets stressful when you start thinking like what's going on? I'm going to move away from the norm. I'm not in my parents' house anymore. What am I supposed to do? It's interesting because you're growing up, but at the same time you're not prepared at all.
No, yeah, most definitely. And I think maybe my parents don't want to do this intentionally, but since I'm like the first one graduating, first leaving, there's a lot of stress already on me as it is. And besides the fact that academically I haven't really been the best, it's sort of like a lot of stress trying to like transition because you sort of at one point realize that like you look back, depending on who you are, uh, what has worked for you and what has not. So like I can look back and I'm like, oh, I played around too much in school. I didn't pay attention too much in school. And right now facing those consequences. But you sort of like find a way to live like move past that because like for example right now the SAT, a lot of teachers, maybe even guidance counselors will be like, oh, you need to get a really high score in the SAT. But in my case, I want to go to like an art school. It's not really necessary, not that I'm saying to bail on it, but it's not really necessary. And like last year I'd stressed so much about it and I got a score that I was not really proud of. But then I further looked into it and it was not really 100% necessary. I don't know where I was going with that, but that's just something.
Since you've been in the magnet for so long, what would you say is your most preferred role when it comes to filmmaking?
Uh, it's really complicated because I like a lot of stuff. Last year for the morning announcements, I was a script writer and I really enjoyed my job until I couldn't. There's certain stuff you can't say on the air, so I got cut down on that. But I genuinely like really like writing. Producing has been one thing that I like, and directing. I haven't had much experience in it, but it's just fun.
So, Saul, do you have any information you want to give to any future filmmakers coming into the broadcasting magnet?
Yeah, definitely. One thing that I can tell them for sure is that if they don't know what they want to do, don't be too scared of it. Sometimes it just hits you one day. Another thing would be like be confident in what you're doing. Do 100%. Like if you're gonna present something, make sure it's like your best work because that's what's gonna represent you later on.
Moral of the story: take risks, increase your portfolio in filmmaking, gain new ideas, and just grow as a person in general. As always, I'm Joey Saza.
I'm Saul Pico.
I'm David Gutierrez, and this is the RamCast signing off.